Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about one of the most iconic and collectible U.S. coins, the wheat penny. Minted from 1909 to 1958. These coins may look like ordinary cents, but many wheat pennies are rare, valuable, and highly sought after by collectors. Some can be worth just a few cents, while others can reach hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the year, the mint mark, and the condition. That's why you need to watch this entire video, because I'll be revealing key details that could help you find out if the wheat pennies you own are just common coins or true treasures. And before we get started, take a second to hit that subscribe button. By subscribing, you'll join a growing community of coin collectors and make sure you never miss out on videos that uncover the real value of rare coins like the wheat penny. Let's get started. First up, the 1945 wheat penny with no mint mark is one of the most talked about coins in American coin collecting, and in today's video we will take a deep dive into the history, the background, the value, the rarity, and all the details that make this coin an important piece for collectors. When you hear about the 1945 wheat penny with no mint mark, you are talking about a coin struck in Philadelphia, since Philadelphia coins of this era did not carry a mint mark. This coin belongs to the Lincoln Wheat Cent series, which ran from 1909 until 1958, and these coins have become some of the most recognizable and collectible U.S. cents ever produced. The 1945 no mint mark wheat penny is particularly interesting because it comes from the final years of World War II, a time when the U.S. Mint was producing coins in massive numbers to support the economy. Yet collectors today still find value and historical importance in this coin. If you are watching this video, stay until the end because we will go over not only how many of these coins were minted, but also what kind of value they can hold today, why they are still worth collecting, and how they fit into the broader world of coin collecting. The 1945 wheat penny with no mint mark was struck in copper, specifically a composition of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. During 1943, the U.S. Mint famously struck steel pennies because copper was needed for the war effort, but by 1944 and 1945 the mint returned to the traditional copper-based planchets. This means the 1945 wheat penny with no mint mark is similar in appearance to earlier pre-war coins, and it holds a lot of historical significance because it reflects the return to normal minting practices after the experimental wartime coinage. The obverse design of the coin shows Abraham Lincoln facing right, designed by Victor David Brenner, with the words, "In God We Trust" across the top, Liberty to the left, and the date 1945 to the right. The reverse shows two wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, with E pluribus unum across the top. This wheat reverse is why collectors call them wheat pennies or wheat cents. The 1945 wheat penny with no mint mark has that same iconic design, making it a must-have for Lincoln cent collectors. In terms of mintage, the 1945 no mint mark wheat penny had a very large production run, with over 1 billion coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Specifically, the official number is over 1,040 million coins, which makes it one of the higher mintage issues of the series. Because of this large mintage, the coin is not considered rare in lower grades, and many examples still circulate in collections, jars, and old penny rolls today. However, just because a coin is common in circulated condition does not mean it has no value. The 1945 wheat penny with no mint mark can still bring strong collector interest, especially in higher grades with strong detail and attractive luster. The value of the coin depends heavily on its condition, and even small differences in grade can make a big difference in price. In circulated condition, the 1945 no mint mark wheat penny is often worth a few cents to a few dollars, depending on where. But when you look at higher condition coins, especially uncirculated examples with full red luster, the value increases dramatically. Collectors seek coins graded in mint state, where the details of Lincoln's portrait and the wheat stalks remain crisp. Red coloration is particularly important because copper coins tend to darken and tone over time, and those that still show original red surfaces are much scarcer and more desirable. In mint state red, the 1945 wheat penny with no mint mark can sell for significantly more, and in some cases very high-grade examples certified by experts have sold for impressive prices. These coins are valuable not only for their condition, but also for the fact that they represent a surviving piece of history from the mid-1940s. Another factor that can affect value is the presence of errors and varieties. Some 1945 wheat pennies, with no mint mark, have been found with striking errors, such as off-center strikes, die cracks, and lamination errors. Collectors often pay premiums for unusual varieties because they are scarcer than the regular strike coins. There are also repunched mint mark varieties in other 1945 cents, but since the Philadelphia issue does not carry a mint mark, these are less relevant for the no mint mark coin. Still, collectors often look for double dies, die chips, and other striking anomalies on these coins, which can make them worth more than their standard catalog values. The 1945 wheat penny with no mint mark is valuable not only because of its potential collector value, but also because it tells a story. It comes from the last year of World War II, a moment when America was transitioning from wartime to peacetime. Millions of these coins were in the pockets of Americans during that year, buying food, newspapers, and everyday essentials. Each coin is a historical artifact, and owning one connects you directly to the past. Collectors love wheat pennies in general, but coins from the 1940s have special charm because they represent an era of great change in the United States. When talking about the value of the 1945 wheat penny with no mint mark, it is important to remember that value depends on demand as much as on rarity. Even though billions were made, the demand for wheat pennies among collectors ensures that they will always have a place in the hobby. Young collectors often start with wheat pennies because they are affordable, available, and fun to collect, while advanced collectors seek out the highest quality examples. This makes the 1945 no mint mark penny a coin that appeals to all levels of collectors. Whether you have just found one in an old jar or you are seeking a gem-quality example for your collection, this coin has value and meaning. Over the years, price guides and auction results have shown that high-grade examples of the 1945 wheat penny with no mint mark can sell for significant premiums. For example, coins graded at Mint State 67 red have been auctioned for hundreds of dollars, and even higher grades can push the value into the thousands. These are the extreme examples, but they demonstrate how much collectors value condition and rarity within common-date wheat cents. Even a single coin in exceptional condition can be a standout piece. This is why it is always worth checking your coins carefully, because what looks like an ordinary wheat penny at first glance may turn out to be a valuable piece in the right grade. For those interested in building a Lincoln cent collection, the 1945 no mint mark wheat penny is a must-have date. It fits right into the wartime and post-wartime section of the collection and provides important historical context. Collectors often build complete date and mint mark sets, and the 1945 Philadelphia coin is essential to completing the run. Beyond that, it is a coin that is easy to find in circulated condition, making it accessible to new collectors, but also challenging in the highest grades, which keeps advanced collectors engaged. This balance is part of why the Lincoln Wheat Cent series remains so popular. In conclusion, the 1945 wheat penny with no mint mark is a coin that every collector should know about. It is valuable because of its historical significance, its role in the Lincoln Cent series, its condition-based premiums, and the collector demand that keeps it in the spotlight. From circulated examples worth a few cents to gem-quality uncirculated examples worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, this coin proves that even common coins can be treasures. If you have a 1945 wheat penny with no mint mark, you are holding a valuable piece of American history, and it is always worth taking the time to look closely at it, preserve it, and understand its story. Next up, the 1953 wheat penny with the D mint mark is one of the most interesting coins in the Lincoln Cent series, and in this video we're going to look deeply at why this coin is valuable, why collectors want it, and how it fits into the history of U.S. coinage. The 1953 wheat penny with D mint mark was struck at the Denver Mint, and the little d below the date on the obverse of the coin is what identifies it as coming from that mint. Denver was responsible for producing hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents in 1953, and while that might sound like a lot, collectors today still consider the 1953 D wheat penny important and worth collecting because of its condition rarity, its history, and its place in the wheat cent series. The wheat penny series ran from 1909 through 1958, and every single date and mint mark combination carries significance. The 1953 D is no exception, and by the time you finish this video you will understand why this coin is valuable and why you should always take a second look at any 1953 D wheat penny you come across. The design of the 1953 wheat penny with D mint mark is the same classic design that collectors love. On the front, or obverse, we see the profile of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. The words "In God We Trust" appear above Lincoln's head. The word "Liberty" appears to the left, and to the right you will see the date 1953, with the small D mint mark just below the date. That D is the key feature for the Denver issue. On the back, or reverse, you will see the words 1 cent and United States of America framed by 2 wheat stalks on each side, with the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, at the top. This wheat ears reverse is why the coin is popularly called a wheat penny. The design is simple but iconic, and it makes the 1953 D wheat penny an attractive coin that appeals to all levels of collectors. Now let's talk about mintage. The Denver Mint struck over 700 million 1953 D wheat pennies, specifically about 700,515,000 coins. That number makes it one of the high mintage dates of the 1950s, which means the coin is common in lower circulated grades. However, don't let that fool you into thinking the coin is worthless. The 1953 wheat penny with D mint mark is valuable because condition is everything in coin collecting. While circulated examples can be found in change or in coin jars, finding one in pristine uncirculated condition with original red luster is much harder. That is where the value of the 1953 D really begins to show. Collectors are willing to pay strong premiums for coins that have survived the decades in superb condition. In average circulated condition, a 1953 D wheat penny may be worth only a few cents to perhaps $1 or $2. But when you move into higher grades, the value increases dramatically. Coins in about uncirculated or low mint state grades can bring in a few dollars, but fully red mint state coins can be worth much more. A bright red 1953 D wheat penny in mint state 65 or better can sell for tens or even hundreds of dollars, depending on eye appeal. And the finest known examples in grades, like mint state 67 red, have sold for much higher prices at auction. This shows how even a common date wheat penny can be incredibly valuable when condition rarity is involved. Another reason why the 1953 wheat penny with D mint mark is valuable is because collectors often look for varieties and errors. The Denver Mint produced such a large quantity of these coins that some striking mistakes and die varieties inevitably slip through. Collectors search for double dies, repunched mint marks, die cracks, and off-center strikes among the 1953 D wheat pennies. These error coins can be much more valuable than the regular strike coins, and they add another layer of interest for anyone looking at this date. For example, a repunched D mint mark variety can bring in a significant premium over a normal coin, especially in higher grades. This means that when you find a 1953 D wheat penny, you should always examine it carefully, because you might have something much more valuable than you realize. The historical context of the 1953 wheat penny with D mint mark also adds to its appeal. In 1953, the United States was in the early years of the post-World War II era. The Korean War had just ended, and the American economy was growing rapidly. Millions of Americans used wheat pennies in their daily transactions, and the 1953 D would have been a common coin in circulation. Today, however, these coins serve as historical reminders of mid-20th century America, and collectors appreciate that connection to the past. Every 1953 D wheat penny you hold is not just a piece of copper, but also a tangible artifact of the time when it was minted and used. The composition of the 1953 D wheat penny is the standard bronze alloy of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This gives the coin its reddish-brown color, although many coins have toned to a darker brown over the decades. Collectors specifically distinguish between red-brown, and brown examples when evaluating wheat pennies. The color designation has a major impact on value. Red coins are the most desirable and bring the highest prices. Red-brown coins are moderately valued, and fully brown coins are the least expensive. This is why you may hear collectors talk about full red 1953 D wheat pennies. Those are the ones with the strongest demand and the greatest potential value. For new collectors, the 1953 wheat penny with D mint mark is often one of the first coins they encounter. Because of its relatively high mintage, it can be found in wheat penny rolls or even in old coin jars passed down through families. It is affordable in most grades, making it a perfect starting point for those entering the hobby. At the same time, advanced collectors pursue the highest grade examples or rare era varieties, ensuring that the 1953 D appeals to everyone. This broad appeal keeps demand strong and ensures that the 1953 D wheat penny will always hold value in the numismatic market. Auction records also highlight how valuable this coin can be. While circulated coins may only be worth a small premium, gem uncirculated examples have sold for hundreds or even over $1,000 in the past. For instance, coins graded MS67 red are scarce, and when such coins come up for sale, they attract serious bidding. This shows that the 1953 D wheat penny with D mint mark is far from being just a common copper cent. It is a coin with significant collector value when found in top condition. Collectors who build complete Lincoln cent sets must include the 1953 D to finish their collection. The Lincoln Wheat Cent series is one of the most popular coin series in U.S. history, and completing the entire set requires every date and mint mark from 1909 through 1958. The 1953 D is an essential part of that journey, and collectors know they cannot skip it. Even though billions were made, finding the right quality for your collection is the challenge, and that challenge is what keeps collectors engaged with coins like the 1953 D wheat penny. To sum up, the 1953 wheat penny with D mint mark is a coin that combines history, collectibility, and value. It was minted in large numbers, but condition, rarity, and collector demand make it valuable. Circulated examples are affordable and accessible, while uncirculated red gems can be worth hundreds or more. Era varieties add another layer of excitement, and the historical context of the coin makes it meaningful. Whether you are just beginning your coin collecting journey, or you are an experienced numismatist seeking a high-grade example, the 1953 D wheat penny is a coin worth owning. It is valuable, it is significant, and it continues to capture the attention of collectors across the world. Next up, the 1951 wheat penny with S mint mark is one of the important collectible coins in the Lincoln Wheat Cent series, and in this video we are going to explore everything about this coin so that you understand why it is valuable, why it remains popular with collectors, and how it fits into the overall history of U.S. coinage. The 1951 wheat penny with S mint mark was struck at the San Francisco Mint, and you can identify it by looking just below the date on the obverse side of the coin, where a small S appears. That letter is the key because it tells us that the coin came from San Francisco, which produced far fewer coins than the Philadelphia and Denver mints in 1951. As a result, the 1951 S wheat penny is scarcer than some of its counterparts, and it has become especially desirable to those who collect by date and mint mark. Every Lincoln wheat cent from 1909 through 1958 is collected and studied, but coins with the S mint mark often have a special attraction because of their lower mintages compared to the billion struck in Philadelphia. If you are holding a 1951 S wheat penny, you are holding a valuable piece of history, and it is a coin that deserves careful attention. The design of the 1951 S wheat penny is the classic Lincoln wheat cent design created by Victor David Brenner. On the front of the coin, we see a right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, with the motto, "In God We Trust," along the top edge, the word liberty to the left, and the date 1951 with the small S mint mark just below it on the right. On the back of the coin, you will find the famous wheat reverse, with two wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, and the motto, E pluribus unum, at the top. This wheat reverse is what gives the series its popular nickname, Wheat Penny, and it remains one of the most beloved designs in American coinage. The 1951 Wheat penny continues this tradition and is an attractive and historic coin to add to any collection. Now let's talk about mintage. The San Francisco Mint produced about 136 million 1951 wheat pennies. Compared to Philadelphia's massive production, this number is smaller, and that is why the mint mark issues are always more sought after. While 136 million may sound like a lot, many of these coins circulated heavily over the decades, and finding examples in high uncirculated grades is much more difficult than it might seem. This is one of the reasons why the 1951 wheat penny with mint mark is valuable today. Circulated examples are common, but mint state coins with original red luster are much scarcer and bring much higher prices in the collector market. When it comes to value, condition plays the biggest role. In worn circulated grades, the 1951 wheat penny is usually worth a few cents to a couple of dollars. But once you move into higher condition coins, the values increase significantly. An about uncirculated example can be worth several dollars, and mint state coins start to command strong premiums. The real value is found in full red mint state coins. Copper coins like the wheat cent are highly sensitive to color, and collectors place great importance on whether a coin is graded as brown, red-brown, or red. Fully red coins are the most desirable, and the 1951 wheat penny in mint state 65 red or better can be worth many tens of dollars or even hundreds, depending on the exact grade and eye appeal. At the top end, the finest known examples graded MS67 red have sold for much higher amounts at major auctions, proving that the 1951 wheat penny is not just a common copper cent, but a truly valuable coin when preserved in superb condition. Collectors also look for errors and varieties on the 1951 wheat penny. The San Francisco Mint was known for producing coins with repunched mint marks, where the S was struck into the die more than once, creating a doubled or shifted mint mark appearance. These repunched mint mark varieties are very collectible and often bring premiums well above the price of a normal 1951 wheat penny. Other errors, such as off-center strikes, die cracks, and laminations can also appear on these coins, making them even more desirable to collectors who specialize in error coinage. If you have a 1951 wheat penny, it is always a good idea to check carefully under magnification, because even a small error can make your coin significantly more valuable. The historical context of the 1951 wheat penny is also important. In 1951, the United States was in the middle of the post-World War II era, and the Korean War was ongoing. The American economy was strong, and millions of people were using wheat pennies, like the 1951 in their daily lives. Today, holding a 1951 wheat penny is like holding a small piece of that history in your hand. Every coin is a witness to its time, and the 1951 carries with it the story of mid-20th century America. Collectors value this connection to history, and it adds another reason why the coin is considered valuable. Another aspect to consider is that wheat pennies, and especially those with mint marks, are extremely popular among collectors who try to complete date-in mint mark sets. A complete Lincoln wheat cent set requires every year and every mint mark from 1909 to 1958, and the 1951 is an essential part of that journey. Collectors of all levels, from beginners to advanced numismatists, seek out the 1951 which keeps demand strong. Even though it had a mintage of over 100 million, the ongoing demand ensures that this coin will always hold collector value. Auction records and price guides show clearly that the 1951 wheat penny can be worth impressive amounts in the highest grades. For example, mint state 67 red coins are extremely scarce, and when such coins appear at auction, they attract competitive bidding. These sales prove that the 1951 wheat penny is valuable not just for its history, but also as an investment in rare condition pieces. This is why it is so important to look closely at every coin, because what might appear to be just an ordinary old penny could actually be a valuable treasure, depending on its grade and details. For beginning collectors, the 1951 wheat penny is an accessible coin that can be found in circulated rolls and collections, making it a great introduction to the world of numismatics. For advanced collectors, The challenge is in finding a gem example with strong strike, clean surfaces, and full red luster. This balance of accessibility and challenge is what keeps the coin exciting to all types of collectors, and it guarantees that the 1951 wheat penny will remain popular for generations. To conclude, the 1951 wheat penny with S mint mark is a coin that deserves recognition for its history, its beauty, and its collector value. Struck at the San Francisco Mint in lower quantities than other mints, it stands out as a scarcer coin from the early 1950s. It is valuable in higher grades. It is desirable for rarer varieties and repunched mint marks, and it holds strong collector demand as part of the Lincoln Wheat Cent series. Whether you find one in an old coin jar or you are seeking a gem-quality example at auction, the 1951 wheat penny with S mint mark is a valuable and significant coin that should not be overlooked. Next up, the 1952 wheat penny with D mint mark is one of the fascinating coins in the Lincoln Wheat Cent series, and in this video we are going to explore everything about this coin in great detail so that you understand why it is valuable, why collectors seek it out, and why this coin deserves attention in the world of numismatics. The 1952 wheat penny with D mint mark was struck at the Denver Mint, and you can easily identify it by the small letter D placed just below the date on the obverse side of the coin. That tiny mint mark is important because it tells us the coin did not come from Philadelphia or San Francisco, but specifically from Denver. Denver produced hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents in the early 1950s, but even with such high production numbers, the 1952 D wheat penny has value because of condition rarity, historical context, and ongoing collector demand. Every Lincoln Wheat Cent minted from 1909 through 1958 is part of one of the most widely collected coin series in the United States, and the 1952 D is a key issue from the later years of that series. The design of the 1952 D wheat penny is the same iconic wheat cent design created by Victor David Brennerbach in 1909. On the obverse, you will see a portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the words, "In God We Trust," positioned above his head, the word "Liberty" to the left of the portrait, and the date, 1952, to the right. Just beneath the date sits the small D mint mark, showing the coin's Denver origin. The reverse of the coin is equally iconic, with two wheat stalks curving inward to frame the denomination, 1 cent, and the country name, United States of America. The Latin motto, E pluribus unum, appears across the top. This design is what gives the coin its nickname as a wheat penny. And for collectors, the design represents both beauty and history. The 1952 D wheat penny carries this design proudly and continues to be a coin that sparks collector interest today. The mintage of the 1952 wheat penny with D mint mark was very high. The Denver Mint produced over 746 million examples of this coin. While this means the 1952 D is not rare in lower circulated grades, the large mintage does not diminish its collector value because so many of these coins saw heavy circulation. As coins circulated through the 1950s, 1960s, and 1970s, most examples became worn down, losing their original mint luster and details. Today, high-grade mint state survivors are much scarcer, and that scarcity drives up their value. Collectors today understand that while the 1952 D wheat penny may not be rare overall, in pristine red uncirculated condition, it becomes a valuable and desirable coin. When we talk about value, condition is the single most important factor for the 1952 D wheat penny. In average circulated grades, these coins are usually worth just a few cents to perhaps $1 or $2. But once you move into higher condition coins with little wear, the values increase steadily. An about uncirculated example might be worth several dollars, while mint state coins are much more valuable. Color also plays a big role in value for copper coins. Collectors and grading services distinguish between brown, red-brown, and full red wheat pennies. The red examples, which retain the bright original copper color from the mint, are the most sought after and the most valuable. For the 1952 D wheat penny, fully red mint state coins in grades like MS 65 or MS 66 can bring strong premiums. Auction records show that some of the very finest known examples, graded MS 67 red, have sold for hundreds of dollars, and these coins demonstrate how much collectors value top-quality wheat pennies. Another important aspect of the 1952 wheat penny with D mint mark is that it has interesting era coins and varieties that collectors actively search for. The Denver Mint often produced repunched mint marks during this era, and the 1952 D has some examples where the D was struck into the die more than once, creating what collectors call a repunched mint mark or RPM variety. These are valuable coins because they are scarcer than the normal strikes and appeal strongly to variety specialists. In addition to repunched mint marks, collectors also look for double die obverse, die cracks, cuds, off-center strikes, and other mint errors on 1952 D wheat pennies. These error coins can be worth much more than the regular coins, and they add a whole new level of excitement to collecting the 1952 D. If you ever come across one of these coins, it is important to examine the mint mark and the lettering carefully, because even small varieties can make the coin far more valuable than its regular catalog value. The historical background of the 1952 D wheat penny also adds to its collector appeal. In 1952, the United States was in the middle of the post-World War II period and the Korean War years. The nation was growing, the economy was expanding, and pennies like the 1952 D were used in everyday life by millions of Americans. From buying candy and newspapers to paying for bus rides, the wheat penny was a common part of daily transactions. Today, finding a 1952 D wheat penny is like holding a small piece of American history in your hand. Each coin has lived through decades of change, and collectors appreciate the chance to own a tangible link to that past. Another reason the 1952 wheat penny with D mint mark is valuable is because it is a required coin for completing the Lincoln cent collection. Collectors who build complete sets of wheat pennies must include the 1952 D in order to finish their album. The Lincoln cent series is one of the most widely collected coin series in the world, and collectors of all ages seek out every date and mint mark combination. The 1952 D is one of those coins that every serious collector will need at some point, and this steady demand ensures it will always have value. Even though the mintage was high, the ongoing collector interest and the desire to find high-quality examples keep the 1952 D wheat penny in demand. Auction results highlight just how valuable the 1952 D wheat penny can be. While circulated coins sell for small amounts, gem uncirculated examples sell for large premiums. The record prices for the very finest coins prove that collectors are willing to pay a lot for the best. Mint State 67 red examples are very rare, and when they appear on the market, they often bring in hundreds of dollars or more. This shows the importance of condition and why the 1952 D is valuable when preserved properly. It is always worth checking your coins carefully, because what looks like just an old wheat penny could actually be a rare condition example worth much more than face value. The composition of the 1952 D wheat penny is the classic bronze alloy of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. Over time, copper coins change color as they are exposed to the environment. That is why many 1952 D wheat pennies appear brown or red-brown today. Collectors prize those that have kept their original red luster because they are scarcer and more attractive. Color is a big factor in determining the value of a 1952 D wheat penny, and it is one of the reasons why two coins of the same date and mint mark can have very different values depending on how well they have been preserved. For new collectors, the 1952 D wheat penny is an exciting coin to search for in wheat cent rolls or old coin jars. It is affordable in lower grades, making it accessible to beginners, but it also offers advanced collectors the challenge of finding a gem-quality coin. This makes the 1952 D appealing to collectors at every level. The balance of availability in circulated grades and scarcity in high mint state grades is part of what makes it such a popular coin. To summarize, the 1952 wheat penny with D mint mark is a coin that should never be overlooked. It was minted in large numbers at the Denver Mint, but condition rarity, era varieties, and strong collector demand make it valuable. Circulated coins are inexpensive, but uncirculated red gems can be worth hundreds of dollars, and rare varieties add even more potential value. It is a coin full of history, significance, and collector interest. Whether you are just starting your collection or you are an advanced numismatist searching for a top-quality example, the 1952 D wheat penny is a valuable and essential coin in the Lincoln Wheat Cent series. And that wraps up today's video all about these valuable wheat pennies. Coins like the 1945 wheat penny with no mint mark, the 1953 wheat penny with the D mint mark, the 1951 wheat penny with the S mint mark, and the 1952 wheat penny with the D mint mark are not just ordinary coins. They are historic, collectible, and potentially very valuable depending on their condition, rarity, and demand among collectors. These coins remind us of America's rich numismatic history and why so many collectors treasure these classic Lincoln cents. If you found today's video interesting, I highly recommend you go back and watch my previous video on Kennedy half-dollar coins. The Kennedy half-dollar is another iconic piece of U.S. coinage with incredible stories, value, and collectible importance. Don't miss it because it connects perfectly with the world of valuable coins we are exploring here. Also, if you enjoy learning about rare coins, valuable pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, half-dollars, and more, then subscribing to this channel is the best way to stay updated. By subscribing, you'll never miss an upload, and you'll always be the first to know about the most valuable coins in circulation, how to spot them, and what makes them so special. So make sure to hit that subscribe button right now, because the upcoming videos will help you discover even more hidden treasures in your pocket change and your coin collection. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video where we uncover more of the most valuable coins you should be looking for.